Deuces Wild, motherfuckers!
Woohoo! After having been away for 2 weeks, it is good to see you in your pink and blue leotard that you are featuring right there.
Well, thanks, Thrill. And I know you said it's been 2 weeks, but to the general public, we haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
For 14 straight days, I've posted a Deuces Wild clip from our last show.
We got some funny ones. You're a funny son of a bitch. I can tell you that right now. Oh, and as we speak, my shirt comes alive. So now, but Lisa had the clips of TikTok of me and you and going back like years. And dude, I was laughing and giggling at some of the shit that you and I say. Oh my God, it's great. No wonder people like this crap.
So I'm going to be honest, man. I went to what was supposed to be the top baseball podcast. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give this a listen and see what they're doing, maybe that we're not. And it's kind of like back in the day, if there was a hitter out there that was hitting 400 or really hot, you're like, okay, well, let me at least check out what he's doing. What's his stance like? What's his approach like? What pitches is he swinging at? What pitches is he laying off? And so I listened to the pod and I listened to the whole thing. And it wasn't bad. It actually was okay.
Yeah.
With all due respect, I humbly say this. We are so much fucking better.
In our humble opinion that you and I both have, it's like you guys, sorry.
No, yeah, man. It goes to show you, because this podcast is backed by a major enterprise, so to speak. And it's not necessarily what you're producing, but I will tell you this, and it's actually kind of who's producing it and who's pushing it out and promoting everything else. But I thought about it for a second, and I go, you know what, man? I would much rather do what the fuck we're doing than any of this other politically correct bullshit standard baseball pod every weekend. I just want the GP, the general population, to know, if you want the real number one fucking podcast here in America and the baseball division, come to No Filter Network.
Come to No Filter Network. And the best part about it is, you know, you have two former Major League ball players that, for the most part, know the game inside and out, right? And we played the game the right way. And we just call out people that don't play the game the right way. That's first off. But then second off, there are so many times that you and I have a game on in the background or whatever, and you know, you're like, throw what's going to come right here. And I said, it should be a heater away, you know, wham, you know, one of those numbers. And for the people out in the chat room, people that are listening, they're like, what the fuck? How does he know that shit? You know, and it's like paying attention to the game and what patterns the guys fall into, what teams like to go to what certain part of the plate. And we give the audience all of that information on a spanking live broadcast.
It is incredible, the insight that we provide. Like, and once again, because we've been taught this in the game of baseball and the game of life, stay humble or be humble. But also, I think it's important to have the confidence to know when you're the fucking best of the best. And what we do right here on No Filter Network, Thrill, Deuces fucking Wild, is the best of the goddamn fucking best.
There you go. There you go.
For everyone else, y'all fuck themselves.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, hey, look. So, let's knock out our title sponsor.
Bet Online, the number one online gambling destination for all the latest news, scores, odds, predictions. Go to Bet Online. line. Right now, we have the NC2A March Madness happening, Sweet 16. Baseball season officially starts in 2 days. Hockey season, NHL, NBA action. It's fantastic. It's all there at Bet Online. If you're a real degenerate like I am, make sure you hit up the poker room, the online slots, or whatever else they fucking have out there for you. It's fantastic. And guess what, Thrill? I want to throw this out there. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, if you want a piece of the action, Bet Online right now is our title sponsor. But we do have room like we did for Steelhead Gear. We've done some stuff with KT Tape back in the day. If you guys want to sponsor Deuces Wild, come on the show. We bring you on. We not only promote the product, pimp the product, we'll get you on here. It's got to be something we believe in, though. It's got to be something we like. But if you think you have something, reach out to us at No Filter Network. I think it's support at nofilter.net. That'll probably go to Leslie or Giuseppe Pepe Manuele, and we'll get you guys all signed up, cranking, and a part of the program.
Hey, look, I was just you on a little rant right there. I was listening to you, and about a company that wants to sponsor, and the first thing that popped in my brain was Big Mike, and he just jumped on here. It's like he's with United Rentals. It's like, oh, nationwide company. Hey, we can fire some stuff up in the Nevada, California realm here.
And the other thing would be great, because you know this, as we get around the holiday season, everybody likes to have Santa Claus on the show. So Big Mike, we'll let you dress up as fucking Santa, man. And you can come on here and we can talk about the North Pole and the elves and all kinds of other shit.
Yeah, no, but he's got the beard and all that sort of stuff, but he's melting away to nothing. He's like fucking Frosty the Snowman down here right now. Motherfucker's melting. He's down 80,000 pounds. So, he takes his shirt off. He shows us his man boobs, the whole thing now. So.
Oh, it's so good. You know what? Hey, Big Mike. Before this show's over, can you hit the knock button and come on?
No. Don't let his ass on. We got plenty to talk about here. All right. So I just so happened to have the game on. We got a night game against the Tigers. They're there at Oracle. It's 2-2 in the bottom of the sixth. But we have plenty of Giants news from the last, week or so that we need to address. For the most part, knock on wood, the Giants have kind of stayed away from the injury bug in spring training. And then the other day, Gerard Encarnacion, who you and I talked about, he's going to be our DH, all that sort of stuff. He makes a diving play in right field, winds up rolling over his hand and has a fractured hand. So he's going in for surgery. So that will probably put him back quite a while, because they'll probably put pins and plates, and then they'll have to go in there and do another surgery and remove the pins and plates. So, I'm keeping my fingers crossed we get him back ASAP. But other than that, few notable get sent down guys. Kyle Harrison, who was one of the leading candidates for the Giants to be on their rotation coming into spring training. And, sorry, you just didn't cut it. A 10 or 11 or 12 ERA, whatever he had, that did not bode well for him, especially with Landon Root and Hayden Birdsong pitching their asses off. Birdsong had not given up a run in spring training. Root was throwing the ball extremely well. And so, believe it or not, they just announced it too, that Root got the last, starting spot on the rotation. And the reason being, believe it or not, was because Birdsong, I don't know, it was a few days ago, a week ago, whatever, he got a cracked fingernail. So he's recovering from that. So he'll open up probably in the bullpen. Another guy that we had seen last year was throwing the ball well, got sent down, but he's a viable option, is Keaton Wynn. Another guy who was in the bullpen that did a fabulous job, ate up some innings for the last few years, is Sean Hajali, the big, tall, 6'11" guy from Kentucky. He got sent down. David VR, Tristan Beck, another starter that was overcoming an aneurysm in the arm and shoulder area. He got sent down. Wade Meckler. And then here was a guy that was interesting for me was Jake Lamb. He had come into spring training trying to be either a left-handed designated hitter or, a platoon player. And then he wound up getting sent down. And then finally, Max Stassi, one of our catchers, got sent down. So that means that Sam Huff won the backup catching job to Patrick Bailey. Anything you got on any of that?
Yeah, let's start with Kyle Harrison because this is a guy that was a huge prospect. The Giants, I think, expect great things out of Harrison at times last season. He was phenomenal thrill. What happened between the end of last year and now that disallowed him to make this club?
You can't, when you come into spring training, and I had this discussion today, as a matter of fact, when you come into spring training is a competition. Yeah, if you're an all-star or gold glover or whatever, yeah, I mean, you might have a spot locked up. But if you're kind of on that edge and you got 3 or 4 guys competing at the same position and they're tearing it up and you're sucking hind tit, guess what? Sorry, the nod's going to go to them. And, like I said, he came into camp as the number 5 starter and just did not have a good camp, whereas Roop and Birdsong both did, and they flat out beat him out. It's a competition. I love competition for that reason. I want to see who's going to take, that set of balls and put them on the line. And those kids did a good job. So now, Kyle, you got to go down to AAA and you got to deal, bud. Go down there, use this as a learning experience. Go down there, deal, and then come back up to the major leagues.
So he had a 10.80 ERA, only 6 and 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 13 hits, 8 runs, all earned, 2 homers. He only walked 1 and he struck out 9. So I am going to look at that if I am the Giants. The whip was 2.100. That's just because of the high hit rate. Now, let's go back to last year, though, because I think it's probably more fair to judge somebody on a complete full body of work. 124 innings, 125 hits. So that's pretty good, a hit per inning. He had 118 strikeouts, so just about a strikeout per inning, 42 walks. The whip was 1.343, which is not great. In 2023, he had a 1.15 whip, which is actually pretty good. Overall, man, I mean, he's got a career 4.47 ERA. I do like what you said. Look, unless you're a dude, there's going to be competition. And if the other guy goes out there and throws the ball better than you or hits the ball better than you or makes more plays in the field and you got a lot of shit that's relatively equal, well, guess what? He's making the motherfucking club and you are going back to sack. See ya.
And, I can use that from my own personal experience. I came into spring training as a non-roster guy. I was going to AAA. I wasn't even being looked at for the major leagues. And then got in there. It was me and Dan Dreesen started getting after it, and then all of a sudden, because I was raking, I was getting the majority of the at bats, and then they gave me the job. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I was a non-roster guy that was going to AAA. So, we've seen it before. There's always a phenom, in spring training. There's also guys that do extremely well in spring training and have to get sent down because of roster spots and all that bullshit. But this was just, hey, You know, I mean, I hate to say it because I mean, I got to call a spade a spade. You had the opportunity, you didn't cash in. The other two dudes cashed in, and that's why they're throwing. All right, and
Birdsong.
so while we're talking about that, let's go to Roop and then Birdsong. All right,
Yep.
Roop is 93, 94 mile an hour turbo sinker, curveball. He added a cutter and a changeup to his repertoire. He's been working on that in spring training, and he has thrown the ball better as of late than he did early in camp. Birdsong, high heater, 97, 98, hook and a changeup. All right. His changeup, and I told him this last year, that's going to be the great equalizer for him. You know, once he establishes that heater, he can throw the changeup off of it, plus have the breaking ball go with it. He did a great job, but like I said earlier, was he had a little cracked fingernail, and so those things can bug the crap out of you. And so what the Giants are going to do is, instead of letting him be a starter and maybe going 5-6 innings and then aggravating that crack in his fingernail, you know, they can like super glue it or whatever, let him go 1 or 2 innings out the pen and get him to heal up quicker. So that is the two comparisons that I'm making on Roop and Birdsong.
So Roop is the one that's going to be hitting the bullpen.
No, Birdsong's going to
Birdsong.
bullpen. Roop's going to be a starter.
So Birdsong's the one who's got the crack in the fingernail.
Correct.
Dude, his numbers in spring training, bro. 12 innings pitched, 6 hits, 0 walks, 18 strikeouts. I mean,
Yeah. He had not given up a run until the other day when they played the Sacramento squad in an exhibition game. He hadn't given up a run, and then, like I said, because of that cracked fingernail, he wound up giving up. I think he gave up 3 runs. But dude, he had a phenomenal spring. You got to tip your cap to him, man. Nice job, Hayden. Attaboy.
I still don't understand the bullpen thing, though. Long reliever. Oh, when the sun goes down, out
Oh,
comes the brown.
that's right. Josh and Big Mike know that. Tommy Luke
Well,
does too. Hello, Tommy.
I did pour myself a tequila. We don't have a tequila sponsor
We
here.
gotta get one of them because that 8 whatever hit the highway. Tommy,
Yeah,
you and Rob need to work on a freaking tequila sponsor. Ooh, Claz Azul. That would be a good one, Tommy. Work on that one for us.
I mean, come on, guys. Can we get some fucking sponsorships around here?
No kidding.
I
Jeez.
say bad words a lot, and we ring bells a lot.
Yes, we do. Yes,
Isn't
we
that
do.
a good sell to any tequila company?
Oh, that'd be great.
And
The best part is you can repurpose the bottle. I mean, it's such a great bottle with the bell and all that. You can put some piece of shit in there and you go, look, I got Claz Azul.
I just opened up the chat.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well,
No,
good evening.
that's
Good
been
evening.
firing away. We've been doing great.
Look at Josh. Baywood Capital Property Management.
That is Josh Turow. If anybody needs to rent property, especially office space, please see my buddy Josh Turow at Baywood Capital Management. Thank you.
I love it, man. Okay, so talk to me about Kyle Harrison then, because is he going to be distraught? Is this going to be
If I had to guess, I kind of think he's a little distraught as it is because he got sent down, and then like I said, the Giants played the Sacramento team the other day in an exhibition game, and he was supposed to pitch in that game, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, a game came along and he didn't throw. So I don't know the story behind that, but that's a little fishy to me right there.
Yeah, interesting. Well, they have a couple days when they get sent down.
Oh yeah. They get a couple of days, and certain people use every freaking minute of that. But hey, look, I hate to say it, and I keep going back to it, and I'm gonna keep harping on it. Competition, all right? All right. 1986, I wound up making a team. We just talked about that a minute ago. 87, all right? Coming into spring training after having an elbow surgery, like a major elbow surgery, right? So I come into spring training in '87 in probably the best shape I've ever been in. I hit once I got you know okayed to swing a bat. I hit every day, every day. I came into spring training in '87 in mid-season form. The reason being, I didn't want anybody to be able to take my position from last year. That's first off. But then second off, I wanted to prove that, hey, look, last year was a little bit of an aberration with the broken elbow. I'm going to earn my spot this year, and it was balls to the wall from day one in '87, and I wound up, believe it or not, the guy who was coming in as my backup wound up getting hurt, and so back then we had A games, which were the 1 o'clock games, and then we had B games, which are 10 in the morning games. So they didn't have anybody to play the 10 in the morning games, so I was playing 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. So I mean, 1987, I damn near had 130, 140 at bats in spring training. I came out of the shoot like gangbusters because I was mid season form.
Well, that's the way to secure your spot.
But it's like you and I both talk about. It's like, don't get comfortable. You get
No.
comfortable, that's when somebody sneaks up on your ass and bites you in the ass. All right.
All right. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go.
No, I was just going to tell a quick story. 2002. So 2001, I went up and down 4 different times. Had some success in the big leagues in the limited action. Ended up making the playoff roster. And then they wanted me to go to the Dominican. And in my limited time in AAA in 2001 when I was there, I went 2020. So I did that, shuttled back and forth between Oakland and Sacramento. Like I said, had a little bit of a success there, was on the playoff roster, but they wanted me to get some more at bats, so I went to the Dominican. I became the first American in 20 years, first foreigner actually, to win the most valuable player award in the Dominican League. It's hard to do. They have a tendency to go ahead and vote for their own. Well, I then went to spring training, got off to a little bit of a slow start, hit 4 home runs in the last week of spring training, which in my mind solidified my spot on the team. And then Art Howe called me into the office, and he actually picked up the phone. And he says, Byrnesy, I don't have it in my heart to send you down. He goes, this isn't my call. You got to call Billy. He said,
oh, that piece of shit.
Ha! So I grabbed the phone. I tried to call Billy. He wasn't there. His secretary said he'll be back soon. I said, I'll wait for him in the parking lot. She's like, oh, my. And Billy then.
With gloves on.
Well,
with gloves on.
I met him in the parking lot. And, Tara will attest to this story because she was there. And we had a conversation. And the conversation was very simple. Like, look, bro, I've done everything I could do in the fucking minor leagues. Absolutely everything. You asked me to go to Dominican. I became the MVP in the Dominican. I get it. I didn't start off great in spring training, hit 4 home runs the last week. I don't understand. What more do you want? And he goes, you had 50 plate appearances in spring training. You walked once. I go, wait, what? He goes,
yeah.
Yep. He goes, yeah, you need to improve your plate discipline. Hey, that's why we're sending you down. I go, Billy, what the fuck, man? Like, look at my minor league stats. Like, I walk. Like, this has been a part of my rep. Like, what? You're going to look at 50 plate appearances in spring training? And because I only walk one, like, I had 4 fucking home runs in the last week of the season. And
How about this one? Hey, you dumbass. In spring training, they throw fastballs. They're not going to walk you.
And in spring training, I'm not looking to walk, right?
Yeah,
you're looking to swing the bat more than anything.
And then here's another one. Here's another one. While you stand there, go, well, what fucking took you so long? Why the fuck didn't you come in there and tell me fucking 15 days ago you need me to walk more. I'd have worked the count more. All you got to do is tell me this shit, you dumbass.
Thrill, I like that. You're right, because communication is
Oh,
always
shit.
big. Well, Billy and I went at it for about 15 minutes, and it was pretty simple. He goes, look, man, go to Sacramento. You do you. You'll be back up here shortly. Well, I go back to Sacramento. I was a little bitch. I was so fucking infuriated. I took my 2 days. I went and got a bulldog puppy. I had it. I literally had it. I felt like I'd done everything I needed to do, and I again was like stuck. So the season started, and I don't know, the first 2 weeks of the season I was terrible, terrible. Bob Guerin then called me into the office in Nashville. We're playing the Nashville Sounds, and he goes, Byrnesy, he's like, look, he goes, I've never seen you like this. He goes, you're always super positive, full of energy. You play harder than anyone I've ever seen. He goes, your at-bats are always competitive. You grind them out. He goes, I don't see it right now. I know you're frustrated. I know you felt like you should have made the team. I get it. I know you should have made the team too. I'm going to give you 2 nights off just to kind of gather yourself and then get you back in there. Sure enough, I go out there, gives me the night off. Of course, we win like 15-2. They're throwing shit pitchers out there. I'm like, oh man, it was so hard to watch, and it was the only game of my entire minor league career where I didn't start. And so the next day, I was supposed to have another night off, and I showed up at noon to make sure I got there before Bob Guerin got there. And sure enough, Bob Guerin walks in. He goes, Byrnesy, what are you doing? What's up? I go, bro. I'm like, before you write that lineup, he's like, I want to make sure I'm fucking in it. He goes, no. I'm giving you 2 nights off. I told you this and that. I said, Bob, fucking put my name in that fucking lineup. He goes, look, man. He goes, we got Bronson Arroyo tonight. Tough Friday. I go, Bob, fuck you, man. Put my name in that lineup. If you don't put my name in that lineup, I'm going to that dish anyway. So Bob ends up putting my name in the lineup. 3 for 4, home run off Arroyo. That next week, I'm not kidding you, hit like 600-700. I went from hitting like a $180 to call it like 260. I'm not even sure if it was a $180 to like 260, 270. Got called back up to the big leagues and never spent another day officially in the minor leagues.
There you go. Hey, speaking of your Oakland A's days, everybody in the chat room, I love them. They always sending me shit about you. And I remember this little dude. He was in Oakland. I took a ton of pictures with him, signed autographs with him and all that. And here you go. You and
oh yeah, man.
We used to just call him Little Eric. Did you remember?
I remember. I don't remember his name.
His name was Eric. And Linda, I think you were the one that sent me that, right? And
so good, Linda.
I mean, I'd come in, I'd be a visiting player, and I'd see him, go over and talk to him and shit like that, and he'd give me some shit, but it was always cool. And then so then we got that one out the way. Then all of a sudden, 1 or 2 people sent me this one. Now I gotta apologize to you because I cut your mom off. But yeah, little family photo. Dad's a good looking dude. Oh, wait a second, let me get my hand up. There you are, right there.
Yeah.
And mom's head got chopped off, but I'll make it up to you. And then who's this right here?
That's Shay. That's Shay, man.
Shay.
You know her. You know Shay. You met her with Trina Byrnes.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. So you met Shay. She was at a dinner one night. I think like a Giants dinner.
With Trina and Rob?
She was with Trina. Trina and Shay. Now, Byrnes, right? They're the second largest shareholder of the Giants. Shay and Trina are really good friends. And Shay was down there one spring training. They had one of the owners' dinners.
Yeah.
Dinner with Trina and Rob.
Yeah.
And she, I know she met you and talked to you. This is before we started doing the podcast, but it was after I was done playing. So it really probably about 10 years ago. What were we, 20? Yeah, probably
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. So then, in that same regard, like I said, because I was pissed that I couldn't get the printer to work and cut your mom's head off. We have this one, which is
Oh,
Eric
there's Mom.
Byrnes. Eric
Yeah,
Byrnes and Mom, and it looks like signing a professional contract.
that's it, dude. How cool is that?
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that young whippersnapper with no facial hair. Looked like a little half-ass crew cut, signing a professional contract with the mom.
Going high and tight, baby.
Hey,
I mean,
hey, we all
that
have
was the
alter
haircut back in the day.
egos. We all have alter egos. That was your alter ego. That's
Well,
like that's like you guys. That's like you guys. All you guys bringing up. Oh, Thrill with the mustache and all that. That's the alter ego that sneaks in every now and then.
what do we got to get you to do to grow back the
Oh,
mustache?
that ain't happening. There's no way I'm growing back a stash that's going to be just solid gray. All right, because then I'll start catching shit from Lasaggi, and then he'll want me to grow a beard and fucking get Santa Claus with him and all of that.
Yeah, but I mean, what hair you have left, it's not all gray. Have you grown the mustache out? I mean, that's a little salt and pepper, man. That's a good look.
Yeah, it's salt and pepper. That's about what it would be. It'd be salt and pepper. So
Imagine Duck Dynasty Thrill. That's what
that's
says.
a good one, Bill. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Austin.
Yeah, I'd be like Uncle Si. I'd be that wacko one off to the side.
Let's talk about some of the greatest mustaches
Oh,
of all time.
all right, let's bring it on.
Austin Horton here says best stash in the game right now. Spencer Strider.
Yeah,
I mean,
Strider. I'm going all-time best ever still till this day because I see him on a regular basis. Raleigh fingers, handlebars, waxed up, full curl, looks great, freaking awesome athlete. Raleigh fingers, numero uno, stash.
dude, I almost want to look this up. Like, best mustaches in baseball. Let's see what we come up with.
All right, and then the other one, and Trey does this to me all the time because we do the baseball quizzes and shit, and he'll show me pictures. Dude, some of those guys from like the 1800s and the early 1900s, dude, I mean, full on, like, I mean, this long, I mean, the whole works. So some of those guys back in the day had some serious stashes.
Thrill, this will be a fun one. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna work backwards here. There's an article written, the 50 greatest mustaches in MLB history. I'm going to go over some of these guys, and I just want you to give me a few thoughts on maybe them as a player and, of course, their mustache. You ready?
All right, ready, fire.
Bill Buckner.
Bill Buckner, good stash, always had it, and could rake. And up until his knees gave out, he's a good fielder as well.
And one of the most, I mean, I'm not even going to bring up the infamous moment. One of the most undercover best hitters to ever play. That guy fucking raked, and nobody realized it.
Yeah, no. Because of that one play, everybody forgot that this dude had like 3,000 hits. He could fucking rake.
Yep. All right, Todd Worrell.
I don't know about Todd. I like Todd to death. He's freaking the best ever Colorado Rocky. But excuse me, what? No, you said Helton or Worrell?
Todd Worrell with the
Worrell closing with the Cardinals. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll give you that. He's pretty solid. Okay.
Okay, number 49, Todd Jones.
Oh, so Jonesy is really a nice guy, but he came up with this Fu Manchu thing and got this like persona like that, and I'm up there looking at him and I'm like, dude, I know you this is all fake right here. So
how about Dave Stieb?
Oh, Stieber. I'm not too keen on his stash, but I'll take him any day of the week toeing the slab. That son of a bitch competed and had nasty stuff.
Well, here's the guy, and I don't think you could count this because this is not a fucking mustache. It's a big ass beard, and credit him because he's the one that created the beard phenomenon around Major League Baseball. Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson, he created the whole shooting match. He went from being a clean shaved dude to like overnight being the beard. And then he winds up being, the closer of the torture team and then, 2 more World Series. And that's what he was known for. So he kind of, in the 2000s, he kind of started a revolution as far as that went.
He certainly did. And how about Davy Lopes?
Oh, God.
Look at
Yep,
that.
Davy. When Davy grew a stash, he had it way down yonder. He had a good one.
Here's a guy that is just a nice little pic of the furry Murray. I didn't even think about him as a mustache guy, but he definitely had one. Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. Yeah, he had a stash. He went clean shaven a little bit, but he also had a stash as well.
Do you have any Reggie Jackson stories, encounters, interactions?
Oh my God. The Yankees were going to play. No, take that back. Take that back. It wasn't the Yankees. He was on the Angels. Angels were playing the Red Sox, and I was on the Olympic team, and we were playing in Fenway. And I went deep 3 times. I went right center, and then the last one was out of straightaway center. And we beat whoever we beat by a boatload. And my third one, I'm sitting in the dugout, and Reggie walks up to me and he goes, "You think you're a big leaguer?" I said, "I'm gonna be a big leaguer one of these days." And then that was kind of all I said to Reggie. And then I wound up seeing him later on, and he doesn't even remember the conversation, but that's exactly what I said straight to him.
Well, it's the fucking truth, man. You think you're a big? Yeah, I just went deep at Fenway Park 3 times, bitch.
3 times, Jack.
Of course, I'm a fucking big leaguer.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, I went deep 3 times, all off of left-handers, not a right-hander in the bunch.
How about Fred McGriff in that pencil-thin mustache?
The crime dog, the old helicopter swing. I love the crime dog. He's awesome. I love Freddie. Freddie is definitely a contemporary. I've never seen a guy hit a ball harder down the first base than Fred McGriff. I was able to catch a few of them, and one of them broke a thumb. So, Fred, you're awesome.
He hit a ball that broke your thumb?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 9,000 million mile an hour hook and line drive, and I went to catch it like this, and it hit the turf in Toronto, and it just skipped up like that, and I didn't get any glove on it. It hit me right smack in the thumb, dead center, and it actually kicked over to the second baseman. I caught the ball at first, so he's out. We're out the inning, and I come off the field, and I tell the trainer, I said, "Hey, I need you to come down here and tape up my thumb." I said, I broke it just now. And he goes, "You did what?" I go, "I just broke my thumb." I said, "I need you to come down here and tape it." He goes, "Well, if you broke your thumb, I got to take you out of the game." I said, "You ain't fucking taking me out of the game. Just tape that bitch up. Let's go." I said, "It's on my throwing hand." I said, "I can throw with these 2 fingers. No big deal." And sure enough, after the game, freaking hairline fraction in the thumb. And I played with it the rest of the year.
Come on.
Yep.
Holy shit, man.
So it's top hand, right? All right, let me see if I can get this. Yeah, there you go. So it's a top hand. So instead of clamping that thumb down, I just held the thumb kind of on the side, and I'm using these fingers just to guide it because this is my power hand anyway, and I'm swinging the bat like that until the thumb got better.
Dude, that's wild.
Just one of the ways we used to cheat back in the day.
Well,
speaking of which,
that would never happen today, dude. Never.
Yeah, I know that. But speaking of which, I'm glad you just brought that up, right? Because I got off the phone with Bryce Eldridge this afternoon. I talked to Bryce. He's going through a hand issue of his own, and he said he's got a big bump he didn't tell me where it was. He said he's got a big bump. And he said when he's coming through, he's okay until he starts to roll and get out of it. And then he's got like shooting pain everywhere. And so he has not had, since he got sent down, he hasn't had hardly any at-bats. The Giants have been resting him, and I think he's scheduled to get a cortisone shot. So good luck to you, Bryce, man. I hope that cortisone shot helps and you can get back in the lineup.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, that obviously, it started off where we thought there was a chance that he can even make
No,
the
no, no,
team.
no. I didn't think it.
I
Thought it.
I did.
You were the one that was howling.
Well,
All right.
if he goes to look at Giants up 4-3, by the way. They have the infield in, 1 out. 0-2 count. Let's watch this for a second.
All right.
I don't know who's up because they have no names on the back of the jersey. They're playing the Detroit Tigers. You have Duvall on the mound. We certainly know him. That's a nasty slider, 90 miles per hour down and in.
Right 3. The Giants were up 4-2 when they took the field this inning. So Duvall must have given up a run already.
So 2 outs, runner at third base. I mean, isn't it great to have baseball back?
It's
like
how did that not be a swing? Oof. Yeah. It looked like if you made contact with that'd have been a double.
Line drive down the left field line.
All right, let's see what the old Camilo Duvall is going to feature right here.
Fastball down the dick. That's a fair ball. They're out of it.
And there we go. 1-run lead going into bottom of 8. But then top of 9, we'll probably see Mr. Ryan Walker in a cleanup role. So we'll see.
Okay, so let's go back to these mustaches for a second, because it just gives us an opportunity to talk about some legends of the past. How about Dave Kingman here at number 39?
Yeah. King Kong, baby. King Kong. One of the things I loved about Dave is when he played for the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field, he lived on a boat in the marina.
No, he didn't.
I swear to God, he had a boat in the marina. That's where he lived. Love him. Awesome. So what do you do? Hell, I get an off day. I'm gonna take my house out on the lake and go fishing.
That's so cool. 442 home runs.
And a lot of them were tape measure jobbies.
How about this guy? I mean, if this is not Samuel L. Jackson from, what was that movie? I'm trying to think about. You guys know what I'm talking about. Here he is. Eddie Murray.
My hitting instructor, Eddie Murray. Played against him for a long period of time. Love him to death. He's my hitting guy. I love him even more as a hitting guy. All he did was just make sense. It's like, well, no wonder he's a Hall of Famer. He fucking makes sense. And then, believe it or not, Eddie's brother, Rich Murray, works for the Giants. He does a lot of the special camps that are on the field and stuff before the games.
And thank you, Pulp Fiction. 4 answers right away when I brought that up, including my lovely wife who decided to watch this week.
Look at you, Tara. What's for smell-o-vision?
Great question, Thrill. Linda was all over it. Mike was all over it. Dude, Eddie Murray, yeah. What a fucking menacing presence.
Yes. But then there was certain things, man. You know, you and I talked about it. Oh, enjoy your chicken tacos tonight, by the way. But
right.
Yeah, but some of the things were like, I watched him take, and you and I talked about this last year, and I think everybody in the chat room might know, but I watched him take a round of batting practice. Dude, it was the ugliest swings I've ever seen in my life. It was like half speed. He's chopping shit in the ground, just hitting freaking choppers and shit. And so after he took batting practice, you know, he was like coming back by our dugout, and I walked out there, and I go, Eddie, I said, you got to tell me, dude, what was that first round about? He goes, I was just practicing 2 strikes with a man on third, infield back, and just me putting the bat on the ball and putting the ball in place so I can get the RBI. I was like, I was like, that's freaking genius. And do you think that anybody ever practices that now? No, they swing out of their ass because it's either going to be I'm hitting a homer or I'm going to leave the guy stuck at third base. Instead, Eddie's practicing a real game situation. Here's to you, Eddie Murray.
I'll cheers that. Just had the conversation with one of our LTP kids the other day. He had 2 pitches that he could have hammered and fouled both of them off with monstrous swings and then got rung up on a pitch that was probably a foot outside and low. And of course, everybody was up in arms about the bad call. But all I could think about were the 2 balls that he had to hit a ground ball up the middle that would have scored the fucking run.
Yep. You're right. You're right.
And so it's good though, because I explained it to him. He's like, yeah, I got you, coach. No, you're right. You're right. And it's like, okay, this is a learning process. It's all part of it.
Yep.
I don't know if you ever played with or against him, but I had the honor to share a bench with this guy, Sal Fasano.
Sal Fasano, catcher for the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, I came up with them. Yep.
Sometimes Sal had the mustache, and sometimes he didn't. So you could probably talk about that more than me.
Well, who cares about the mustache? He had like the Fu Manchu thing. I think he had it when he was in Oakland. But we had this thing in Oakland where we called ourselves the Goon Squad. It was Sal Fasano, Frankie Menachino, John Mabry, and myself. Those are kind of the core 4 of the Goon Squad. And we would be the guys that would be sitting on the bench, and we would always talk about Goonie's going to win a game tonight. The Goonie's going to win the game tonight. And so we all would have this mentality that at some point we were going to get in the game and help our team win. And ironically, during the 20-game win streak for the Oakland A's, it was one Goonie after another that fucking helped us win each and every single night. And Sal Fasano would sit on the bench and he'd do this thing. It's like he'd do this bus driver thing. So you know how the bus driver
and Sal had the body of a bus driver too.
It was perfect, but he bounced up and down like the yellow buses, man. So good. What a great teammate, Sal Fasano. Okay, here's a guy, Thrill. When I think about him, I don't think about the mustache, but I'd love to hear if you have any Andre Dawson stories.
Oh, the Hawk. The Hawk. I tell you what, just because I'm overcoming, knee surgery right now, good Lord Almighty, when we played against each other, he was having knee issues back then. So I know he's got some fake knees. Played on Montreal, which is the worst turf on the face of the planet. And, he was, good Lord, he was Mr. Expo for a long time, and he went over to the Cubs, and he had the dynamite years with the Cubs, and, we wound up getting a hold of him there in 89. So Andre Dawson, class dude.
Would you consider him more of an Expo or Cub?
Expo. He got called up and then spent most of his time with the Expos.
Giuseppe Pepe Manueli would be really proud because Kowalski, who's a diehard Cubs fan, and of course Giuseppe Pepe Manueli, who grew up in Montreal, he's a diehard Expos fan, have this argument all the time about whether or not Andre Dawson, the Hawk, was an Expo or a Cub, and the argument can.
He's an Expo. He was an Expo.
Okay, here's a guy, Thrill. I know you loved this dude growing up. His mustache wasn't necessarily the best, but it certainly was ginger.
Oh, the Schmidt man, Mike Schmidt. Probably not the best mustache of the group that you have there, but that man could rake, and I was one of his idols. Or take that back, he was one of my idols. Excuse me.
How about this guy, Thrill? You got to have something on one of the best defensive first basemen of all time.
All
A
right, I
dude
know who you're
that's
talking about.
still
Bring it
doing it
on.
in the booth
In
right
the
here,
booth,
right now. Keith Hernandez.
Mr. Grecian Formula himself, Keith Hernandez. Um, he set the tone for my generation of first baseman. So myself, Mark Grace, Andres Galarraga, all of those guys that played first base, we played first base because of him. He was the guy that bridged the gap going from you put a big ass outfielder on first base and let him hit to he's the guy that's the more athletic first baseman and can do it all. So Keith Hernandez was that man.
I love the fact that you just said athletic first baseman because that's not a spot where you just want to stick somebody. They touch the ball more than any other player besides the pitcher or the catcher. Let's
You're
just
right.
start.
You're right.
So if you just want to throw anybody over there, be careful.
Yeah, no, you gotta have some skills going over there. There's some stuff going on. So
All right. How about this guy, Thrill? I know we've heard a couple stories about him before, but don't be afraid to regurgitate anything that you have on Mr. Rod.
oh, Rodney. Oh my God, I love Rodney. Regurgitate. That's a good word. So Rod Beck gets called up to the major leagues, and he's setting the AAA on fire, and nobody knows he's got a pretty damn nasty split finger, and so he runs through 12, 13 saves in a row, and he's just making some of these guys look stupid because he's throwing 94, 95, got a hook, and he's got that fucking bastard split finger, and I will never forget it ever. He threw one in the top of the ninth, came in for a save situation. He threw one to Freddie McGriff, and Freddie McGriff hit it in the upper deck in deep right center at Candlestick. I mean, it was a monster bomb. And, after the game's over, we wound up losing. Rod's just sitting in his chair and he's dejected, like, you beat his dog. And I went up to him, I patted him on the back, and I'm like, hey, that's okay. Shit happens. I said, we'll go out and get another streak started tomorrow. He goes, you don't get it. And I go, what don't I get? He goes, nobody's ever taken my split finger deep. And I go, excuse me? He goes, nobody's ever taken my split finger deep. I go, Rodney, this is the major leagues. You've been once through the league. Now they know that you have a split finger. I said, that motherfucker is going to get taken deep regularly. I said, you better put it in a good spot. And I turned around and walked off. That was my Rod and Beck story.
Yeah, man. I mean, the big leagues is just it's different, dude.
Dude, hey,
really is.
once you figure out what a guy has, and you can look for just that pitch and know you're going to get it. Sorry, I mean, let's here you and I can talk about it right now. Mike Scott, all right. Not only is he cutting it up and he's throwing 95, 96 with a freaking cutter that he's cheating on, but he's throwing this split finger that's, I don't know, 88, and this is a bastard split finger. But he's in our division. I know he's got a split finger. I know he throws a split finger in certain counts. I think I only have two. I might have three homers off of Mike Scott, but two of them off of his split finger. Because I knew he had it, and it's coming in there at 88, and it's a bastard. But I'm gonna go get it. So shit happens.
Thrill for a relatively short period of time. Mike Scott was the nastiest pitcher in the major leagues. True or false?
True, by far. He was Mariano took it to the next level. He was pre Mariano because he threw, like I said, 95, 96. Mariano's at 97, 98 with that cutter. But what Mike Scott would do is because he's cheating, he's throwing it and it's got this freaking just perfect rotation on it. And you go to hit it and it just freaking just jumps on you and just eats your shit up. And man, Mike Scott in that era, he was no day at the beach.
So
None.
he would cut it in on the lefties and then use the split to fade away.
Yep.
Bro, I would watch him pitch. And this is when I was in my infancy of fandom when it came to the Giants and Major League Baseball. And it was funny because I was talking about it with a buddy today. Like, bro, I used to watch every pitch. Your guys' game started, I was there start to finish. Kids today, I love my kid. I love the kids that play for us. I don't think they watch anything but Instagram reels.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Right? Like they'll watch baseball, but they're watching baseballs like this. Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great hit. You know,
Yeah.
and they're,
Oh, Lord.
they're not
Hey,
going to sit here start to finish and watch this. They just don't do it. But
yeah.
I used to watch you guys, and the most feared pitcher every
Hey,
time.
turn around.
2 outs in the ninth, 2 strikes.
Two
And we
outs
got
in the
our guy,
ninth,
Ryan
nobody
Walker.
on. What is this? 2-2, 3-2 count? What is it?
2 balls, 2 strikes, top of the ninth. San Francisco 4, Detroit 3. Kreidler, the former UCLA Bruin, drives one to right center field. Oh, fuck! Off the glove of Matos. Kreidler into third base. You cannot hold down a UCLA Bruin. Matos is fucking that shit, man. Hey, so Kreidler, this is great, dude. He's the son of a former, or I want to say former, like a radio host that I used to have a show with in Sacramento. He ended up going to UCLA. That would have been a sick play by Matos. You got to finish the motherfucker, dude.
He
there.
Came up just a fucking hair short.
He didn't, though. All you got to do is finish it. This is the problem with outfielders because now you have a runner at third base with 2 outs, but you did all the work to get there. There was a skill in finishing a catch.
Yes.
See it all the way in. You did all the work to get there. Now it's focus time because here we got a line drive to left field. All right, they get out of it.
Way go. Giants win.
But how about the triple?
But finishing it off. Hey,
see it in the glove the entire way.
Are we gonna do some more mustachios or no? We're gonna save it.
No, I'm gonna keep going.
I tell you what. Where are we at with the mustaches?
I'm only stopping on people that I want to hear a story about.
Oh, okay.
Well, so we might go from.
What number are we at? We got shit we got to do. What number are we at?
We're at 15. Give me
15. Steve Balboni. Oh my God. Steve Balboni, first baseman, DH for the Kansas City Royals. Steve and I were in the same draft class. Brett Saberhagen was number 1. I don't know who was number 2. Steve was number 3, and I was number 4. So Steve got drafted 3, and I got drafted 4. Steve signed with the Royals. I went to Mississippi State. So Steve and I are linked that way.
Did you ever get a chance to know him?
I did. Super guy. Because, believe it or not, Steve Balboni was one of the San Francisco Giant scouts under Brian Sabean. So Steve and I know each other well.
Normally, I would probably skip over this guy because I don't know a ton about him, although he played for 17 years in the majors, 7 different teams. It said he never fully lived up to the hype surrounding him, with his best year coming in his only season with the White Sox. He hit 31 home runs with a 297 average. It says the one thing that this guy did become famous for was his hair, both on top of his head and on his upper lip.
Is
Ladies
that
and gentlemen,
Is it Kittle?
No, I present to you Oscar Gamble.
Oh God Almighty! Look at that! Holy shit!
That's a good look, man. I mean, I
Uh,
you don't even, you can
I
comment.
don't even need to comment on that. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
don't comment. Let's go
Jesus,
onward.
Oscar.
Let's
Good
go
Lord.
onward and upward to this guy, though, Thrill.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Let's
You
go.
know as well as I know, when you think mustaches in the 1980s,
Yeah.
this is towards the top of the list.
Oh, Donnie Baseball, baby. Donnie Baseball. Man, man, man. Wherever I went, he and I were like linked. It was like he was in the American League, I was in the National League. They even had rumors about a giant for Yankee trade. I mean, they had all kinds of shit going on, but Donnie Baseball could flat out do it
I got to imagine you guys had a mutual respect for one another.
without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, I mean, we were in some of the All Star games together, and I had a chance to talk to him a little bit, but I didn't talk to him a ton, but I mean, just super guy, and I love Donnie. Great baseball mind.
Well, here's another guy very similar to Donnie Baseball. Unfortunately, Mattingly not in the Hall of Fame, but this guy is, and his mustache should probably be there too. Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs. Uh, I got stories about Wade on and off the field. He, he's one of those guys that from the moment you saw him, you go, "That's a Hall of Famer." That's it. And that's all I need to say.
Just because he could hit,
Yeah, not hit, rake. And the thing is, if he didn't want to hit 330, Wade Boggs would have hit 30 homers every year because Wade's like 6'2, 6'3. And sometimes in batting practice, just out of the clear blue, he'd say, "Okay, I'm going to hit a few homers." And he'd hit like 5 straight at Fenway.
I mean, we hear the stories all the time about Tony Gwynn doing that too.
Yep. And you even told us a story about Ichiro. So same shit. So,
Okay, you played across the bay from this guy.
all right.
It's certainly a legend of the game. All of my interactions with him, I've really enjoyed. Dennis Eckersley.
Oh, the Eck. The Eck. Uh, Good Lord Almighty, I had some wars against that guy. Um, you know, had wars against him when he was a starter, had wars against him when he was a reliever. He was the guy that closed out the '89 series. You know, Hall of Famer. He wasn't going to make it as a Hall of Famer as a starter, but shifted midstream. Tony La Russa put him in the bullpen, and he became a different dude.
They have this guy here on the list. I'm just curious because I know this guy's an iconic figure in the game of baseball. Do you have any good Jim Leland stories?
Jim Leland, Hall of Fame manager, won World Series with multiple teams. Um, my big Jim Leland story is he loved to smoke his schmags, and you'd be on the field, and you could see him up in the tunnel, in between innings, while I'm throwing the ball around, and I'd catch his eye or something like that. I'd be looking at him, and he'd be waving at me, and just giving it a toke on his schmag. So
Yeah,
I
the
love him.
first
I love him. Jim Leland's awesome. Awesome.
first opportunity I had him. I mean, he had the smag like he's sitting,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and he has it in his hand, so he covers it up really well. And there's this billow of smoke that would be rising from his hand. So I was interviewing him when he's still the Tigers manager at MLB Network, and he was just right here, and he'd hold
Yeah.
his smack right here off to the side. It's like, in between questions, like,
Yeah. Yeah. That was awesome.
oh,
Jimmy.
good. All right, we have the top 3 mustaches here
Top 3. Here we
in,
go.
in baseball of all time.
Top 3.
All right, Thrill.
Coming in at number 3 is
Goose Gossage.
oh, buddy. I love that man. Holy cow. Good Lord Almighty. I mean, you know, closer for the Padres, closer for the freaking Yankees. And then he comes over to us, and the Roger Craig, I don't know, put him at one point, had him as a closer, but then put him as a mop up guy. And I remember being and we called him the Cowardly Lion because he had that big mustache, and he he'd talk like that. And I remember being in the back of the plane one day, and this was after he had come in some mop up role, and he comes back, and he's like, and he is drunk off of his ass, and he's like, Thrill, I still got it, or what? And he's just spitting all over me with this big, humongous mustache and all that, and I'm just wearing it because this is Goose Gossage. I can't say any shit, and finally I just went, Goose, you're fucking awesome. I'll play with you any day of the week. And he goes, that's what I'm fucking talking about, fucking Thrill. That's what I'm talking about. And so till this day, I love that man. Goose Gossage is a fucking gem.
Goose Gossage is an iconic figure, man. And he does not mince his words either. He is straight Filter Network.
I told this story a few years ago, so there's some of the new people in the chat room that haven't heard it. But I don't even know where the fuck we are, and he's fucked up as usual, right? And he goes, Throw, I fucking love you. And he came up and he gave me a fucking kiss, and I'm like, fuck, Jesus. One of those numbers. And he goes, you're the fucking best, Thrill. That kind of shit. And I go, Goose, I said, there's going to be one day I'm going to get even with your ass. And God damn it, it wasn't, shit, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, we play a day game, and I go into the city, and it was at one of them Hard Rock, TJ Fridays, whatever the fuck was in the city, I forget.
Hard Rock Cafe, probably.
Yeah, exactly. All right, there you go. And he was in here with his whole family, right? And they're sitting at a booth, and I see him as soon as I walk in, right? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. And I fucking made a beeline. He never saw me coming. And I fucking grabbed him by his head, and I went, mwah! And I fucking gave him a kiss. And I fucking turned to his wife and I said, I love this fucking guy. And I turned around and walked off.
Oh, it's so good, man.
I love Goose Gossage. He's freaking awesome.
That's so cool. That really is. All right, number 2 here on the list. Pete Vukovich. Do you have anything?
Oh, God, yes. Pete Vukovich from the Brewers. Great stash. Pete was a longtime brewer. He did a little bit of everything for the team. And he was one of the ones that the late, great Bob Uecker loved. And he's talked about Vuk all the time. And Vukovich was in the I want to say y'all in the chat room fire up, but I want to say Vukovich was in Major League movies.
So it says here, he's a pretty good starting pitcher for several years, most notably the Cardinals and the Brewers, compiling a 93 and 69 record, 3.66 ERA. He was the American League Cy Young Award winner in 1982.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Brewers reached.
I didn't know that.
Losing to the Cardinals, Vukovich was also known for somewhat of his bizarre behavior on the mound, unnerving batters by sticking his tongue out at them, spitting into his glove, and constantly berating umpires. Vukovich also had one mean-looking mustache, further adding to his ominous presence. Vukovich also had the exact look that producers of Major League wanted when they were looking for a Shirley-looking slugger for the New York Yankees.
Yes.
So that's who he was.
I told you. Yeah. All right. So now Vuk, all right, that's awesome. All right. But that leaves numero uno. And since you have not mentioned him, it is the Thrills pick as to numero uno. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Da, 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 da. We have Raleigh Fingers, handlebar mustache. Not only a freaking all-star, but closer for the Oakland A's when they were winning the World Series championships. He was finishing off games for Catfish Hunter and Vita Blue, and he is a Hall of Famer now. Thank God they got that fucking right. And a superhuman being when you meet him in person. So, Raleigh Fingers, congrats on being numero uno of the stash world in baseball.
You called it right away, Thrill.
You know what? There's some things I screw up a lot on, but I was pretty much dead center on that one. I tell you what, you want to know the honest guy's truth, and I did not. I knew Goose would be in there too, but Vukovic caught me off guard. I forgot about him. Oh my God.
All right, one last question about the mustache, and we're done with it.
All right, and then you get through with that one, and then I got some stuff for the chat room. So, all right, fire away.
Okay. I'm going to give you a few right here, and hopefully the people in the chat could join as well.
All right.
But if we were to call, like, I mean, my big thing is, it's like even with homers, I like nicknames for it, right? Like, and so with mustaches, you have sort of these different nicknames.
Right.
So give me your top nickname for a mustache. I'm going to read off 20 right here. Let's call it. I'll read off 19 because number 20 says stash. Number 19, cookie duster, flavor saver, lip curtain, soup strainer, the push broom, caterpillar, crumb catcher, mouth mane, lady tickler, snot catcher, tea strainer, womb broom, mouth brow, lip strip, muzzle fuzz, lip locks, dental droops, the reverse omnish, and number 1, the fake eye.
The what? I lost you. I lost you. I didn't hear it.
Do you have me now?
I got you now. What was number 1?
They call it the fake ID.
Okay, not that one. The one that they used to call it all the time back in the day was either the second or third one that you mentioned.
The
go back to your list.
reverse Amish, the dental droops, the lip locks, the muzzle fuzz.
No. Go from the other side of the list.
Okay.
It was the flavor saver. That was it.
The flavor saver.
That was what everybody called it in the 80s and 90s. It was a flavor saver.
I like that.
So, but anyway.
Yeah, I like the mouth brow. The
Hey, look, all the rest of them, fuck off. But anyway,
all right. Hey, so what do you got, man? You've been excited. So I like when you have something you've been wanting to talk about.
I'm pretty fired up about this, all right, because our buddy Josh Turow, who's in the chat room right now, he came up with this one, and it is the possibly untouchable records. All right, I'm gonna go through them. Okay, I'm gonna go through them, and I'm gonna give you a reason why it's either touchable or not touchable. So here we go. Number 1 is number of wins, which is 511 from Cy Young. We all know that's untouchable.
Untouchable. Never be
Right.
touched again.
Number of hits, okay, is 4,256. Pete Rose, untouchable. The only reason is because the only guy that could have done it was Ichiro, but he spent all those years in Japan.
Yeah.
If he started out here, I'd have said, oh, he's going to be the guy. But nobody, first off, nobody plays enough to beat that record. And second off, nobody grinds out at bats like Pete Rose. All right.
I don't know if they're going to let people play long enough too, because the nostalgia of the legendary player that you're going to keep around at the tail end of his career, I think some of these computer geeks that are running teams these days don't give a fuck
Yeah.
about the nostalgia
No.
of it. They're
No.
just going to
Plus,
make the decisions based on, oh, I could bring a rookie in to do
yeah,
this and this, and if I look at these numbers and this number, so
well,
the romanticism is not working in
and then
favor either.
this brings up the next guy, which is, you know, 2,632 consecutive games, Cal Ripken.
Never. Never.
Nobody's going to play more than 155 games in a season because they're going to ask for fucking days off and shit like that. So no chance. Joe DiMaggio, 56 game hitting streak. Not going to happen because you don't have the skilled hitters, first off, and you don't have the guys that are going to play every day to get fucking 56 hits in a row. No chance. All right.
Yeah, throw the problem with that too is back when DiMaggio did that, you know as well as I know, they got to face the starting pitcher fucking 3-4 times.
Yes.
Now it's you face the starting pitcher twice,
Yeah.
you get your third
Yeah.
at bat. You're
Agreed.
typically facing a reliever, and it's just more difficult to hit.
Agreed. Okay, next one, which won't be touched, is Ricky Henderson, 1,406 stolen bases, because everybody's so cognizant of the running game now, and these guys worried about their fucking pop times and all that sort of shit. And then the stupid ass commissioners making the fucking bag bigger, all that bullshit. So that won't be touched.
Yeah, but Thrill, remember this. So the commissioners making it easier to steal bases, but the biggest issue with it is the slide step. It's the neutralizer.
Yeah.
And
or here's another one. Here's another one that nobody talks about. Okay. So, and this is where the fight in St. Louis happened, was Vince Coleman was closing in on Ricky's stolen base crown. If you stole second and you stole third unopposed, it was still a stolen base. They've changed that rule. All right. So you're not going to have freebie stolen bases. Okay.
Correct.
Next one. No chance this one's going to be broke because everybody's hitting off of velocity now. Is Nolan Ryan, 5,714 strikeouts. Ain't going to happen. Plus, on top of that, Nolan would go fucking complete games. Nolan would have 20 strikeout games. That kind of shit. Another one. I can't see anybody doing this. Hank Aaron, 6,856 total bases. That means you got to fucking rake and you got to hit a lot of balls out yonder. So can't see it happening.
That's the longevity of the career. It's just the
Yeah.
fact that Hank Aaron did it 20-something years. Like that's the biggest thing. Guys don't play Major League Baseball for 20-something years anymore. No, I don't know who was the last guy to play 20 plus years.
You got me.
Back in the day, it used to happen.
Yeah, quite a few of them. But then here's one from one of your teammates, and this one, in my opinion, will never be broken as well. It's Ichiro with 262 hits in a season, because once again, you got to play every day. You got to be in the top of the order. You got to be able to run. You got to be able to ground out at bats, and you got to figure out a way to doink balls in here, doink balls in, bunt, the whole works. That ain't gonna happen no more.
Well, interesting you brought that up, because I was listening to a conversation today on MLB Network Radio. I know Steve Phillips, and I think it was Jensen Lewis, and they were talking about Bo Bichette and saying that if he stays healthy, hitting in front of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and he's hitting leadoff, has a very good chance of, at the very least, leading the American League in hits. So it'll be fun to watch Bo Bichette this year.
All right. Here's one that I think might be broken. This is Sammy Sosa with 3 seasons of 60-plus homers, because you got Mr. Judge, who's hitting in New York with a short porch, 6'8", 280. We're going to see another one of these guys come down the pipe here pretty soon. So this is one that I think might be broken.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's not gonna be broken by Judge. He's in his 30s
Yeah, but here's the thing.
now. Steroids
It's
are
3
gone.
seasons. It's 3 seasons. He's already had 60 at what, once?
He's had,
Or is it twice?
yeah, I'd have to look at it. I think he's had 60. I feel like he's had 60 twice. Is that right?
I want to
don't
say it
know.
twice, and that's why I said this is one of the ones I think could.
Well, you'd
be
have to have three. You have to have 3 in a row.
No. It's not 3 in a row. 3 total
Okay,
of 60 plus.
gotcha. All right. Okay,
Okay.
that
All right. So
certainly
that's
could be.
that's my one. Barry's 73 homers in a season.
I don't think so, but
I can't see
fuck.
it unless somebody just freaking gets off. I can't see that happening.
Yeah, it'd have to be somebody that it's just not, the dude's not there yet. I guess if Judge just had some kind of crazy
Yeah.
magical year, but do you want to know the difference between Judge and Barry? Judge's swing is fucking long, man.
Yeah,
And so he has to perfectly connect.
I know it is.
Like
And that's
Barry
why-
had the
that's why
shortest
the
swing
Giants
and the
kept
most
throwing
powerful
breaking
swing of all
balls.
time.
And that's why the Giants kept throwing breaking balls. I'm like, don't throw him breaking balls. You're throwing it into his bat speed. But we did, so he whacked the fuck out of us.
Linda's got a good point. What about, Ohtani, if he played in a different stadium?
If he played in a different stadium, I would probably think that. But night in LA, you get that heavy air in LA.
Moisture.
I don't know. All right, here's one for you. This is an interesting one. And I played with this guy. I didn't play with him when he did the feat, but I played with him. Was Fernando Tatis, 2 grand slams in 1 game. He's the only guy in Major League history to ever do it. There could be a perfect storm where that would happen.
I was going to say, wasn't it? I don't even know if this is possible.
He was with the Cardinals. It was.
I remember.
It was in.
No,
LA.
wasn't it 2 grand slams in 1 inning?
And his next at bat, he hit a granny. And I want to say it was damn near in the same inning.
I was going to say, I think it was 2 grand slams in 1 inning.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah, that I could see never, ever, ever happening again. Because you got to have 3 guys get on, then you got to hit the grand slam, then you got to hit all the way around, have 3 more guys get on again,
and
hit the grand slam. Yeah, no, that's
if you hit 2 grand slams in an inning, that will never happen again. 2 grand slams in a game, pretty good chance that might happen. But it has to be like you were talking about, the perfect storm. So,
what else we got? These are good. I really like
the last one, and I'm going to leave this open for you guys. All right, the last one is Greg Maddux 18 Gold Gloves.
No,
yeah, never.
Not happening.
You don't think so either? I don't think so either, because there's always guys that are coming up that are like more defensive oriented than offensive oriented. So that's my thinking on the Gold Gloves.
It'd probably have to happen from a pitcher that pitched that long. I mean, that's why that guy's getting the opportunity. It could happen for maybe a first. I mean, Keith Hernandez had 10 in a row?
Yeah, I don't know.
Battleborn, what's up, motherfucker?
There's a bunch of guys that got a lot of Gold Gloves, but it was never in a row.
Yadier Molina had a lot in a row, but not enough to overtake Johnny Bench.
And Ozzie Smith had a bunch in a row, but he's not in that category.
Yeah, but
no one's going to play shortstop for 18 years anymore. They'll look at the defensive metrics, and as soon as the guy's not moving as well, he's gone.
No, agreed. I believe the Tatis 2 grand slams, I'm pretty positive, was in the same inning. I'm
Oh,
99% sure
no,
positive it was.
no, Mike. I'm within 1,000%. It was in the
Yep.
same inning. All right,
I
I know that for a fact. But when Josh sent this out, it's 2 grand slams in a game, and that's why I prefaced it as that to everybody.
Yeah,
in the
I'm
audience.
surprised no one's done 2 grand slams in a game. That seems like
It's had to have happened before.
yeah.
All I
most,
Joe
most
says
likely.
Mark
do is get Trey in here. Trey will verify it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly. TC
All right.
TC knows what's up.
Yeah, and so here's another one. So Joe just came on
Yeah.
a text, and he's like, Mark Teixeira hit 2 homers in the same inning from both sides. Guess what? There's always switch hitters, so
Yeah, that's
going
not
to
that
happen
big of a deal.
sooner or later.
Not like 2 grand slams in the same inning. That's rare. That's different.
Battleborn, what do you got for us tonight, man? Beautiful
Dude,
day out there in Reno. I was there earlier today playing pickleball.
Dude, look at this. Dude, look.
Fucking gorgeous.
Look at that.
What's a nice sideways angle of, I don't know.
What is that? Oh, that's a car.
It was a truck. It's his front yard.
Hey,
look at the mountains, motherfucker. Look at the sunset.
Battleborn, how was the
Beautiful.
650 fucking tri-tips you cooked the other day? Jesus Christ, that was a rack full of them bastards.
They were glorious. They were spot on, 100%. It was a good event.
Yeah.
What event was it?
It was a Blue Thursday at work, equipment sale we do from time to time. And I was tasked with cooking, which, that falls into my wheelhouse. So I sent Will a couple pictures of the grill with, for a reason, a number, 22 tri-tips on the grill.
Whoa. All I know is it was a lot of beef, and I was like, fuck, I need to be there. Jesus, I need to be there.
I cooked a tri-tip last night. Those are kind of, they're not a pain in the ass to cut up, but that's like a lot of work cutting it up. Who cut the 22 tri-tips?
I did. I hand sliced all 22 of them. Yeah.
Dude, that's a forearm workout, man.
Yeah, your hands get a little shaky. You get some thumb cramps and stuff as you're slicing. It is what it is. You just got to power through, man. You power through a lot of shit. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, Big Mike, I got to let you know this. I just found this out yesterday, and I was waiting to tell you and Jared, but Pace canceled both of the Reno events.
Oh, shit.
Evidently, they let go of a ton of people in the company. And then they said, hey, we can't go have a golf tournament and celebrate everything while we let all these people go in the company. So as far as like autism night and all that stuff, I need to pull you off on the side. I'll talk to you about that and whether we're coming or not coming, whatever. So anyway.
No, that's all good. That's all good. Well, that's not good news to hear about Pace. I hope everything's okay. I know how big of a company they are. I know Jared's got a ton of work coming up, and he's busier than he has been in years. So good for his company down there, but
no problem.
Kind of concerning
I
about.
wanted to give you that heads up.
All right. No, that's good to know. Well,
we need another excuse to get you out to Reno for golf.
Don't worry, I'm coming to Reno. I'm not gonna miss out on Reno.
Yeah, man.
And your trucky ass needs to wander on over there and tell Tara, you freaking come on over yonder too. We'll get Lisa in the gang and we'll hang out.
All in, man. Battleborn, what do you got, man? I got chicken tacos downstairs. I'm fucking starving.
Because you worked your ass off today. That's why you're starving. Here's what I got, dude. Look at that thing.
A footboard, nice. I mean, I can barely see it, but yeah.
Well, it's kind of dark now.
Hey, dude. Good for you.
I'm kind of falling into this thing every morning and every night before bed. I stand on this for a while. It relieves some pressure points. I'm not gonna lie.
What is it?
It's a footboard, Thrill.
The torture
right here. Hold on.
Board. All right, I got you.
It's a foot reflexology board. I'll send one to the house for you.
No, I don't need one of those. All right.
Come
It's like
on, man.
hey, it's
You guys
like
can have
standing on
challenges in your
fucking
family. Who can
rocks.
stand at the
You
one?
motherfuckers out there have rocks. I don't have rocks. I have swamp. All right. So, all right. I don't need no fucking rocks.
I'm sending it your way. It's coming whether you want it or not. It's a party trick, dude. Everyone who comes to the house, it's like, hey, take your shoes off. See how long you can stand on the board. Yeah, man. Hey, any final words for tonight before we get the fuck out of here, boys?
Excellent show. Awesome to see you guys.
Yeah, no,
Thanks,
as far as I go, I mean, we were off for a few weeks. We covered everything Giants. Next week when we crank up, we will have had opening day. We'll be into the season, and we can draw a conclusion from a first few games. As far as the Giants go, and yeah, I mean, shit, I thought this show was awesome. I mean, we even fucking broke out the stash cash and all that sort of shit. So it was fun.
Yeah, I had no intention of doing that. I would say if you're listening on Apple, you're listening on Spotify, do us a favor. Leave a review, 5 stars if you're feeling generous. If you could write something down, all this shit matters. If you're watching live, tell a friend, bring a friend next week, 6:05 p.m. Pacific time. We watch baseball. We get after it. We talk about, well, we really don't know what the fuck we talk about, but we talk about shit.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Oh, all right. That's about it, boys. Anything else?
Mike.
Wait, hold on a second, because I mean, properly, this doesn't feel right.
All right.
Battleborn, see ya. I mean, we can't let Battleborn close the show.
No, we can't without signing his ass off. But
No.
look, hey, we had some new people in the chat room. Ted's been here before. Joe, hey, welcome aboard. We had some other people early on. I got to go back and find them, but we had 18 in the chat room today, which
Yeah, just fired away. I love it.
near
Obviously, Christian
a new high. Look, you guys, if y'all enjoyed it, y'all had a good time with it, bring it back next week. Invite some friends. We'd love to hear their questions, their comments, because you see as EB and I are going through this, we're reading the chat room, dude, and we're not missing out on much. And so, y'all got a question? We'll swing by. We'll answer it.
And don't be afraid to stay tuned if you want the Deuces Wild clips. If you listen on Apple, you listen on Spotify, but you don't get the Instagram reels, go to No Filter Networks Instagram. We fire out clips all throughout the week. But like Thrill said, bring a friend in. I got chicken tacos downstairs, and I'm going to finish off this tequila too. So, Thrill, have a great week, man.
And then I need a refresher. So.
When the sun goes down, out comes the brown.
Out comes the brown. And guess what? After that, it's not too far from see ya.
See ya!